columnist. I wrote in economic magazines in Turkey, namely Economist and
Yeah.
Money. At the moment, I have got a website, bilgeyatırımcı.com, and I'm writing my columns there. Also, there is a monthly economics magazine. It is Turko Money, and I write there as well. I write columns there. That's it. I'm just looking at the world markets, world economics, and it's changing very fast.
What does being an economist mean to you?
Economist. I have got two answers. One formal answer. Economist decides how much to produce, when to produce, and how much price you should apply to the products and things. This is the formal definition. And there are the sources which are consumed, but it is not, endless. So economist decides the models on how to produce, when to produce, how much produce, and things. But in other terms, an economist just looks back and explains very well what happened, but never believe any economist when he speaks about the future, when he speaks about what's going to happen. When you look at the Nobel Prize economists, before the election in USA, we saw that all the economists and Nobel Prize who took the Nobel Prize as well, they were saying that it's horrible, Trump's economics policies were horrible things. But after the election, the markets were really in a feast, and it was really wonderful for the markets. So when you are listening to an economist, just listen to them when they told the history. They can explain the history very well, but the problem is that future. An economist doesn't make forecasts. In fact, these assumptions, I can expect the US dollar should rise or anything else,
Yeah. Do you have any favorite quotes from some economists? Anywhere from Adam Smith all the way to someone today?
John Baptist Say,
Yeah.
John Baptist Say, he says that, every supply creates its demand.
Yeah.
You are supplying something now. You are supplying the rich. You are supplying a website, right? And it's creating demand. You have produced something, and it's creating its own demand.
Yeah.
It's very good quote indeed. I wrote 4 books so far.
Yeah.
The first one was about technical analysis of the price charts, right? It was, in fact, a small book, a pocket book, and from A to Z technical analysis of the price charts. The second one was making analysis in stock market. The third one was the investors and the technical analysis is being questioned. A lot of investors using technical analysis came up that it was futile, it was helpless, but they were doing wrong things. And the psychology affects people. In brain, a lot of things happen when you are deciding buying something for investment or selling it. So my third book was about the psychology and the behavior of investors and the technical analysis. How to use the technical analysis. Should we use it like it was told in the books, or should we use it in other ways? The fourth book I wrote was an economics book.
Yeah.
It is a story, but I use the story to tell people to teach economics to the people. There's a story in the book a girl, you know, a girl loses his father. You know, his father dies because of a heart attack. Because of after an economic crisis, father really gets worse and lost a lot of money after the crisis, and he dies. Then his daughter decides to really search about the economic crisis. I really inspected and searched 42 countries' economic crisis, and then this search was done by Hülya, the hero of the story,
Yeah.
and Hülya then prepares a master's thesis, and she says that how economic crisis happens. How can you explain that nobody knows before the crisis? Nobody, everyone, a lot of people governing the country, you know, they go to the London School of Economics, they go to the Harvard, they learn a lot of things. And how cannot they see that economic crisis is coming? You know, Hülya just tries to answer this question, but in the meantime, people who read my book learn how the economic system works and how the crisis happens. So I like my fourth book. Now I am writing a book now, Fundamental Analysis of the Stocks. So in my new book, I am at the moment writing it, and now in my new book, I will be teaching people and to the investors how to select stocks and how to overcome the deficiencies of your brain. You know, when you are investing, your brain really behaves strange. You know, you want to buy, but it says don't buy because it is too high. Or if you want to sell, don't sell because it is going up, something like that.
Yeah.
And this book is about this. In fact, in 2001, you know, Turkish economy experienced a very hard crisis, economic crisis. You know, the exchange rates, Turkish lira was devalued by 100%. You know, it was 60 cent or 60 kurush before the crisis, and it went up to 120 cent, like kurush. And after that crisis has happened, I was teaching at the university, and I really asked myself, now it is crisis, and what should I do? How can I turn the crisis into a profit? You know, a lot of economic crises happened in all over the world, and I should really search about all these crises and see what's going on, how the crisis is coming, and what the governors or all the government officials are saying, and after that, which sectors or what kind of sectors are getting premium, or when you select some stocks from the stock market, which sector should I really go for? That was the reason that I wrote that book, you know. But before writing, I said that, yeah, I am going to look at the crisis and things, all these, but it will be like, lesson book, you know, it's a book and nobody will be interested in. So I should make a story and I should tell all the crises in a story. Then, you know, in Turkey now, it is the, I think, 10th press, you know, my book was...
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Now the readers love it, you know, all the comments about the book is really good. But if somebody wants to write a book, you know, on a subject, first of all, he or she should really know the subject, you know. He should really have the real experience. You know, when you leave something, then you feel it into your cells, you know. So you can write and you can affect the people. And when writing the book, the words that you choose is really important. If you want to, you know, teach something, you should use some pictures and all other things, because the pictures, stays in my mind. At the Leeds University, I was tutor and I was teaching there as well. I was doing PhD and then I was teaching there. Before I start teaching, they gave us a course on how to make, how to conduct, classes for the students and how to affect the students, how to teach something better. And I used all these techniques in my book.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's really smart. It's a good move. Good move.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Talking of Leeds and talking of Britain, coming to Brexit now.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to hear some of your views on Brexit so far and your views on Brexit in the future and the economic implications of it in the world economy.
In fact, before the Brexit, people or all the investors community didn't expect really that the result. The result was shocking, and we saw the effect on the financial markets. And the stocks went down very fast and down. Really, it was a horrible day that morning. And I was on that day, I was making a comment on Twitter and also on my YouTube channel. I was making a live program on my YouTube channel on the day that you voted. I mean, all the British voted for the Brexit. The result was really horrible for the investment community.
Yeah.
The thing is that do you know the George Friedman? George Friedman wrote a book. He's a CIA strategist. When he came to Turkey, maybe 6 years ago, he said something very interesting. He said that Europe will never be a European state. It will never be a European state. Why? We said why? And America is composed of the states, a lot of states,
Yeah.
America became a state, a big state. Why shouldn't Europe be a European state? He said that to make the United States of America, people fought, people really battled. So, and the blood went on. That's why America is America. But when you come to the Europe, the people of the Europe doesn't want to be a European state. They want to keep their national identity, you see. So there was no war to become a state. So they will never be a state. And they will, in the future, fall apart, And we are seeing that kind of process is going on now. British people, I was in Britain for 6 years, from 1988 to 1994.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that really national identity is very important for British. You can see all these, and the football matches and things. But when you come to the economic point, definitely it will harm the UK economy, especially UK economy, the British economy. And when you remember the results, the Scottish people didn't want to leave the Europe, but really the big no was from South and from the center of the United Kingdom. A lot of benefits the Europe was European just provided for UK. Now we are really. I am not really in a position that to give a clear picture what will happen in the future, but I see that now in 2017 there are 4 elections in Europe, and the Germany's elections will be really very, very important. If Merkel goes away, if some nationalists, get power, the world will change very dramatically, I think. And then Brexit will be forgotten, but maybe Germany exit will be we will be starting to talk. Or maybe in Italy, I don't know. Also, there are 4 elections there in Europe. I think a lot of really dark future in front of us. So when we come to Brexit, I can tell you that yes, it will harm to Britain more than Europe, but Europe is in a position that falling apart, and the process will continue. In that mean, I say that Britain has done the right thing because Britain has saw that Europe was falling apart. The first country said no to Europe was Britain, and we will see in the future. I think that Britain is right and solve the future.
Right. And then there is the rise of populism. So, for example, you mentioned Europe, the 4 other elections. France, another one, going with Marine Le Pen and the Frexits. And also
Yes.
the rise of populism in the United States of Trump. So, in terms of Trump, how he came to power and the economic implications in the United States, internally and externally, all across the world as well. How do you think that will play out?
Yeah, in fact, I mean, all economists all over the world now just focusing on the Trump policies, you know.
Yeah.
And the only question is that, yes, Trump said, I'm going to do this and this and this. But what we don't know, we know that Trump wants to do it. It wasn't an election, it wasn't an election promise. It was really, it came from the heart of the Trump. He really wants it, you know.
Right.
You know, that by China. The writer of this book now is the Foreign Trade Relations Minister, you know. So when you look at them, you know, China is killing us. Is the main message of the writer. He's a Harvard professor, and Trump said that you come here and just we will show China our really hard hand. You know, Trump is doing this. But what we don't know is that whether the American Congress and all delegates will really back Trump. I don't know that. You know, Trump will want to decrease the tax rates, you know, from 30% to 15%, and increase the import duties from 15% to 35%, right? And also Trump want to increase the indebtedness of the America, so new debt will be coming. And that will be increasing because a lot of, you know, very huge infrastructure investments will be done. When we look at the picture, you know, I see that the inflation will be increasing very fast in USA, especially in maybe June, July, and things. Also, I see that the growth of the economy in America will get faster. I see that there will be a really big protectionism and huge protectionism. Yeah, protectionism, is really dangerous for the welfare of all over the world. I think Trump will really try hard to do to make protectionism, but I don't know whether the Congress will will back the Trump. But if he gets it, it will be horrible for the world economy. A lot of countries exporting goods and services to USA, and they are getting US dollar. When you increase the import duties, then all these countries will get less US dollar. So we will see that dollar supply is going down. So US dollar will go up because of the protectionism.
Yeah.
The other reason that US dollar will go up is inflation. If you decrease the taxes, if you increase the infrastructure investments, all these things, if you spend a lot of money, then it will create inflation. The inflation will come from two channels. The first one, from the expenditures, domestic expenditures, it will increase, and domestic public investments, it will increase the total expenditure. The other one will come the import duties. When you buy some Chinese good now for $5, right? Then if the import taxes and other things, duties increased, then maybe it will go up $6-7. So, and inflation will come from that channel as well. If the inflation is increasing, then Federal Reserve Bank and will have to increase the interest rates faster than we think now. That means US dollar will go up and up, and the dollar index, which is the dollar index, shows the value of the dollar against 6 main currencies. It's going up. It came from 85 to 103 now, and the highest level is 120. I expect it to come before maybe June, July. I expect it to come to, it reach to 110. That means developing countries will suffer from that, and dollar will increase. And in the short time, this will be very good for America. However, in middle time and long time, when we look at, then these kind of decisions will increase the current account deficit of America. It will increase the interest rates. It will increase the inflation. So the economy will unstabilize, and stability will go away, and big waves will come to the economy. So it will be very bad for all other countries. One interesting point is this, Darren. Trump is saying that, I watched a lot of videos of Trump. He's saying that we are going to increase our import duties China, all right, on China products.
Yeah.
The commentator, the presenter is asking, yes, you are going to increase, but what about, what can they do then, all right? What can they do then, and what China can do against it? He's saying that they can't do anything, right? China can't do anything to us. He's saying that we are owing a lot of debt, right? Yeah. China is holding American bonds,
Yeah.
It's not a problem, he's saying. I don't think that Trump is really how can I say, really knows all the economics, all these things. He's a businessman, but when it comes to the macroeconomics, it is really he's really bad, I think, because when the China starts selling USA bonds, right, then gold will really go up very fast, because when China sold bonds, then where can they invest it? They will definitely go for gold. Then, in every market, we will see a lot of volatility by protectionism. I hope it doesn't hold. I hope now it is just a big lie. And I hope Trump leaves the populism and just stand on his feet and do the right things. Otherwise, all over the world, a lot of countries and people will suffer.
Yeah. Last year, 2016, has been a very unstable year, especially in Turkey, with attempted coup, with lots of terrorism. In terms of the economy and the currency in Turkey, from now on, and from all the history that it's gone through, where do you see the economy going?
Now, today I wrote a column in my website, and I'm just answering all these questions. In the last 2-3 days, Turkish lira is really losing value against all the other money, all the other to currencies against all the other currencies. And the main reason is there are two main reasons. One is that central bank is going to have a meeting on 24th of January, and in that meeting, the markets doesn't expect the central bank to increase the interest rates. At the moment, the inflation rate is around 8.5%, 9%, and the monetary policy interest rate is just around 8.25%. So it's negative, in fact.
Yeah.
But because in the last 2-3 months, Turkish lira lost value against other currencies, maybe 20%. Now it is around 28%. It's really affecting the domestic prices. When the dollar went up, then all the cost of production is increasing because nearly 60% of the cost of the produced goods is dollar denominated, So it's affecting inflation, and market is expecting at least 10 or 11, 12% inflation. So they want the central bank to increase the interest rate so they can get maybe real interest. As I said, the international markets and the domestic markets doesn't expect the central bank to increase the interest rates enough to compensate for the currency valuation. When your real interest rates is negative, also if your companies, especially the private sector companies, is highly US dollar debted, all right? So the international markets think that Turkey might really maybe default in their debt, in private sector debt. So they don't want to take this risk, all right? And all the foreign banks now started to increase the interest rates on dollar debts, all right? Because dollar all over the world is going up, and because the currency now, Turkish lira, lost a lot of value, and a lot of companies getting, they are selling in Turkish lira, but paying the debt in dollar. So it will be a problem. And also on 27th of January, Fitch, rating agency, will really decide whether they keep Turkey in investable country or rate or not. We may lose our rating. That's why in the last 1 week, Turkish lira has lost value. These are the economic reasons. The first reason is that the central bank will not increase enough the interest rates. The second one, that Fitch may decrease the rating of Turkey. When we look at the political reasons, then we can say that, political and social reasons. First of all, now Turkey in Syria, in a war against Daesh, and also there are some terrorist attacks in cities of Turkey, all these. And tourism income is very important for Turkey, but when we ask to people, the experts in the tourism sector, they say that 2017 is another lost year for tourism because people are not coming to Turkey, and some people in Istanbul, in historic places, small business, they are saying that in 30 years we didn't see anything like that. For 400 shops, So it is really hard for Turkey. Everything came together in negative terms, In one side, you are in a war in Syria. In the other side, terrorist attacks are hurting you. On the other side, the rating agencies will reconsider your rate and things. And plus, central bank is not doing what it should do, That's the problem. But I believe Turkey will find solution to this because, when we look at our history, in 1994 we had an economic crisis. In 1997, the Asian crisis hit all over the world, and Russian crisis in 1998, and we were affected. In 2001, Turkey's economic crisis was the hardest one in our history. And in 2008, the global currency crisis. So we are get used to crisis, you know, and our business environment, you know, people are get used to crisis, and they had, you know, they developed some reflexes to crisis. All the companies think. That's why Turkey is really standing now very powerful, but
Yeah, infrastructure is developing even today. The infrastructure in Turkey, isn't it?
yes, you know, the second largest airport now is being built. Marmaray, you know, a tunnel under the sea in Turkey. So big infrastructures are going on, especially the housing sector and building sector, you know, flourished in last 5-10 years. But now, because all the sources went to housing sector, you know, it's not a productive sector. You see, you just make the house and then you sell. It doesn't produce something. It doesn't produce anything. You cannot sell it. You cannot export it. You know, the infrastructure investments and all these things. People thought that they were in welfare. You know, they just went on borrowing from the banks and spending money. They got cars. They bought houses and things. Now the bill has come in front of their desk. We will have to pay this bill. In all the crises, economic crisis in 42 countries, I have seen this story. You know, if you are spending your future, you know, before earning your money, if you are spending now, you know, but if the money you spend now, the ratio of the money you spend now to the future income increases to some red line, it should be 30% or 35% of your salary. You know, you shouldn't borrowing more than your 35% of your monthly salary. That is the rule.
Yeah.
If you exceed this, then you will have to have the crisis. You know, you have to face the crisis. That's it. In all over the countries, that happened. You know, people went buying houses and cars in USA. Mortgage papers just went up, skyrocketing. Everyone was earning money. That was wrong, because if everybody is earning money, who is losing? Then one morning you just get up and you say that I lost. Now the value of my mortgage papers, you know, is nothing, right? Then you lost everything. The brain is optimistic, you know, when you are starting a job, you know, when you are starting a project, you are optimistic. That's it. When you are borrowing, you are optimistic as well. You think that, yeah, I bought this house, I will pay in 5 years, but I won't lose my job.
Yeah.
That's why we experience crisis,
Yeah.
economic crisis.
We'll have a lot of economists watching us as well. Some people who want to be economists and some established economists watching us. What would be some of your top tips for people who want to become economists or people in similar areas?
If they want to become economists, you know, they should think twice, you know, because being an economist is very difficult. But I love my job, you know. I love teaching economics. I love making forecasts into the future and things. First, you know, before deciding to become economist, you should really ask yourself if I love or can I love economics profession, right? What do economists do? For example, at the moment I'm advising some companies, writing some reports for them. Also, I'm writing my articles, teaching at the university, and that's really nice for me. But when you graduated, nobody will ask you, right? Just write me a report, come and advise me and think. When you graduated, you will have to work very hard in a financial institution or in a company that you can use your economics knowledge and profession and things like that. But I can tell you, if I came to the world again, right, I would really become an economist. Adrenaline is very high, you know. Yesterday, dollar Turkish lira rate was 3.70, but this morning it was 3.89. And you are losing in dollar terms. in the morning. So everybody is asking, what's happening? And people are asking, what's happening, Yashar? Can you tell us? And today I wrote an article in Twitter. It was really retweeted, and a lot of people really affected by that article because I told what's happening, right? Taking all these kind of, comments and feedback, very nice indeed. I mean, you feel good because you think that I did some right things. I told people what's happening, what's going on. Now their mind is clear. They really understood what's going on. And think 3-4 hours ago, I wrote it, and now it exceeded 12,000. I mean, 12,000 times it was read for Turkish standards. Economics article, it's a really big number, But I hope Turkey will be good and the right decisions will be taken, because in every dark picture, somebody comes up and they do the right thing. Otherwise, the result could be really a big crisis.
And you mentioned your websites and your Twitter handles. For people who want to reach out to you, for people who agree and people who disagree with you, that want to have debates and talk and just follow you, where can they find you?
Bilgeyatırımcı.com, but it is because in Turkish, if they write my name in Google, then just Yasar Erdinç, then in English, Yaşar Erdinç in Turkish, then they can find my website, bilgeyatırımcı.com.
Yeah, and of course we'll be providing all the links at the bottom here somewhere, so if you see it, then just copy it and paste it and you'll be able to follow Yaşar Erdinç.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, do you have any final words?
My final word is this. 2017 will be very different year from the years, maybe in the last 20 years, 2017 will be very different. Because there are elections in Europe and populism is growing, and we will see the results of Trump's policies in 2017, and we will see really shocking waves in the financial markets in 2017. And this is very important. I think people will be interested in economics more in 2017 because it will affect every individual.
Yeah.
And people should save in 2017.
Yeah.
People shouldn't spend money by borrowing because we don't really know the result of the Trump's policies, and the results for American people could be really good, but for European and other countries, the result could be reverse.
Yeah. Thank you, Yaşar. It's been great having you on Richtopia.
Thank you very much indeed. I really wish you success in Richtopia, and I love your website. In fact, I met with your website maybe in last 10 days, Yeah. After I saw a tweet, right?
Yeah.
Then I registered, and you are doing really good job. And it is a very good idea. I mean, just building a website like Richtopia. I wish you every success in your efforts.
Thank you so much.